Well, hello, folks. Pastor Rocky Branch, Spruce Pine First Baptist Church. Hope you're doing well today. Thursday, 2 days away from a year anniversary of the flood that hit and wrecked our town, literally. Our church stepped up 305 days, people in our church. The reason I keep saying that is because God provided. It's not anything about our church, that God provided for our church and God trusted us. And this is the biggest thing for me. The biggest thing of the whole deal is that God trusted us enough to deal with this issue. And so for 305 days, over 62,000 meals, we are there in that situation. And that anniversary is coming up. I think about many people that serve the Lord, like many of you, and you want to do right, and you want to be blessed, and you want to bless other people, and you want to help other people, and that's so commendable. That's so important. We saw so much of that during this time when this storm came to us. It was just incredible. And we'll obviously talk more about that as we get, closer to it. Of course we will, but it just, when you want to help somebody and you want to make a difference, and sometimes when you try and you don't get anything, because we had, everything wasn't perfect with our church trying to help people, because some people, had the wrong idea, and some people didn't come with nothing but demands, which didn't work out at all. So, you just got a lot of different situations. So in your life, when you're trying to help somebody, you're trying to encourage somebody, you're trying to benefit somebody, and sometimes it doesn't work out. And for those times, it is so discouraging sometimes, and sometimes you want to quit. And I know that some of you, that you are helping people, you're trying to help people, you're trying to reconcile, you're trying to build a fence, or a bridge rather, not a wall, or you're trying to make a thing where people can get along. And sometimes it just doesn't work. And it's not necessarily your fault. It takes two to tango, and you got to have people to agree on both sides. And when you're trying to help someone, they've got to understand, and you've got to understand. So with all that said, I guess, I want to talk a little bit about Noah real quick. God came to Noah and he said to him, the world is wicked. And we read that here in the scriptures, that the world is just so wicked. In fact, it says that the world is so wicked listen to this, that every thought of their minds were evil continually. Every thought process that they had was evil continually. That's chapter 6, verse 5. And when you get in a situation like this and you're trying to help people and you're in the midst of wickedness, it's discouraging when you see the world and what's going on. And so when we face these challenges, a man like Noah helps us out, because Noah stood strong. And Noah was responsible for this enormous project that God gave him to do. Just incredible. It's an incredible thing that God asked this man to do, and his 3 sons. Now, it is reasonable to consider that he had to have some people to help him other than his 3 sons, because this is an enormous boat. Some of you have been up to wherever it is. I don't know where the ark is, up in Kentucky or somewhere, I guess. But some of you have been there. You've seen the life-size replica of the ark. And that's an incredible thing that God gave this man and his 3 sons the responsibility to do. And they did it. And people kept squawking and mocking and laughing. It took 120 years. And he built this ark, and not one convert out of everybody, he, his wife, his sons, and their wives got on this ark, and God closed the door. Now, we know that's a part of what we would consider to be a typology of the rapture of the church, or the saints being saved from destruction and all that sort of stuff. So when you work and when you labor and when you try and you're trying to do right, and evil is present all the time. Every time you try to do right, evil is right there sticking their face in the place of trying to get you to do something wrong or go a contrary way. That's what evil does. But Noah gives us this beautiful picture of him standing strong day after day, year after year. And I know the time issues are amazing. There's a reason for that 120 years. There's a reason for people living 900 years. That's a different story. But in this case, 120 years. He's preaching. Nobody believes him until the flood comes. And it's an incredible thing to think about, that people fail to understand the tragedy of life and how valuable and how tender it is and how vulnerable life is. It's just amazing. And God gives us this perfect picture of this man that was obedient at a rough time. So I just want to encourage you that whatever you're going through, whatever you're facing, whatever is going on in your life, whoever you're trying to talk to, whether it be yourself, you're trying to talk to yourself about getting back right with God, or somebody else trying to get back right with God, or get in church, or whatever the case may be, or listen to Charlie Kirk's funeral services, or the influence that he had, or whatever the case may be. Don't give up. Don't quit because it seems like nobody's getting it. Don't allow that to happen in you. Because now we're talking about Noah a long time after Noah did his thing, and his life was not in vain. He gave us faithfulness and firmness. He created a foundation. He found grace in the eyes of the Lord. So don't give up and don't quit, because God uses everybody that is useful that comes to him and says, here I am, use me. I hope that's your prayer today as we continue on down life's road. God bless you. We love you. I'll see you soon.